Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another video here on the Steelhead Addict. And today we got a cool one for you. We are setting up a very simple, basic indicator bead setup for the fly rod. This setup is great for all levels of fly fishermen, specifically beginners. If you're struggling to catch fish, it's one of the quickest rigs to set up. And who am I kidding? They're all actually relatively quick and easy to set up, but I personally think this one will help a lot of beginners that are just getting into fly fishing for steelhead in the Great Lakes. It will help them catch a lot more fish and put a lot of salmon and steelhead on the bank or in the hoop or in the boat. So stay tuned as we go through a step-by-step process to get that indicator bead rig set up, and hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And it's a brand new channel, so I greatly appreciate it, and stay tuned. To make it real simple, the first thing you want to do is go out and get a tapered leader. Rio product, Scientific Angler, Airflow, I believe. Everyone makes one and they're all good. And it's just a nylon tapered leader, but that has a loop so you can connect it to your main fly line. 9 to 12 foot is basically the standard, the status quo. I like a 12-footer just because I can take a little bit of the thin end off, which is going to be your 8-pound end, and put my own fluorocarbon tip on there to help me get more bites. All right, the first thing you want to do when you pull your tapered leader out of the bag is unravel from the thick end to the thin end. Once you do that, you're not going to have a big tangled mess. So this is going to be a 9-foot Scientific Angler leader. It's very windy. I don't know where my other one went. It blew away and I have to go find it here when we're done. But let's get this attached to the loop on your main fly line. So it's a loop-to-loop connection. You take your loop. I always insert the loop in. The reason why a tapered leader is so important is when you're casting a fly fishing setup or a fly rod, that tapered leader is going to allow that line to roll out, and the thin end is going to land further, and it's just basically a physics deal to where it launches and lands softly. So I don't know the proper scientific name for it, but the taper's good. All fly line is also tapered with the head weight shooting forward, so everything shoots. So we got it connected here. Pull it tight. You're gonna pull out your leader, and we're gonna battle here through some wind as we're filming this, but this one's about 9 foot. So we'll find the soft spot here, right about there, to where we can still tie. I like to take like 1.5 foot off. Now I'm gonna attach a swivel, a fluorocarbon leader, a bead, and a hook. So first thing is gonna be your swivel. And I like the swivel because it kind of helps eliminate line twist, and that bead will be just kind of free dangling, floating, doing that, whatever it needs to do underneath the surface. You're gonna use an improved clinch knot or a polymer knot, whatever your knot of choice is. Always get it wet and pull it tight. Cut the tag. You can leave a little bit of a tag end so it doesn't pull through, just an extra security measure. Next, now there are bead knots that you can tie to put it on, but I personally am a big time pegger. My favorite peg is going to be the Nova Tackle pegs. It's got a thick end here with a really thin end here. I get a little moist before I put it in. Really important, don't go top to bottom. When hanging a bead, you want to go bottom to top, because your bead always slides from top to bottom. And if you go the opposite way, it's going to be more prone to slipping. So you're just going to put that peg in there, pull extremely tight, and I'm pulling on that. That's hardly slipping at this point. So I know my bead is going to be really locked into place, and I'm not going to have any bead slippage and lost fish. Trim her down. Rule of thumb is about 1.5 fingers to 2 fingers from the bead. The rule of thumb is about 1.5 fingers to 2 fingers from bead to the eye of the hook. So the last thing we have to do here is put on our indicator. So my indicator of choice is going to be the Orco's. It's just a round indicator, but it's a screw lock indicator, so it has a locking mechanism on the inside. That's really important because it's not going to kink your line in any way, and it's not going to create a weak spot in your tippet. So you want to guess roughly or know roughly how deep of a run you plan on fishing. And you're going to take your bead, put the screw side down on it first. I said bead, take your indicator, put the screw side down first. You're just gonna lock her into place. It's about as easy as that with these Orcos, and they float really well. And I know I said that was the last thing, but I did forget one more important thing, and that's where we put our split shot on this rig. I'm not a big believer in putting split shot on the leader between the swivel and the bead. I think that causes damage to the fluorocarbon, and a lot of fluorocarbon is extremely brittle when it gets nicked or has any pressure or crimped. So I'm gonna actually put my bead right above the swivel, and if I have to shorten this length or lengthen it all, my leader, it's real quick and easy to do. So you're gonna grab whatever shot you like to use, you're gonna put it on right above the swivel, and your indicator setup is now set up and complete. So hopefully this helps some people get started with fishing for salmon and steelhead and brown trout on their favorite tributaries on the Great Lakes. I hope these tips help you catch more fish and put more fish to the bank and in the hoop or in the boat, whichever one is your preferred method of styling, of angling for the salmonoid species around the Great Lakes. I greatly appreciate everyone who tuned into this video. If you fish with a fly stick and you indicator bead, or you don't, or if you're against it, I just want to know, and maybe even say why down in the comments. So I greatly appreciate everyone who's tuned in to this video here on the Steelhead Addict, and stay tuned for more educational videos, fishing videos, and hopefully some really awesome steelhead catches here in the months to come. But until next time, subscribe, and we'll see you then.